Well, is it recording? I don't know, Timmy. You better come take a look. There's my shop. That's where I did all the work. This is a video about the Holley Terminator fuel injection EFI. Here's the convoluted tubing to run the wires. Oh, I'm just playing. That's drainage tile. There aren't that many wires, actually. Speaking of which, just this one main harness coming out the back of the throttle body, and that's it. And then this, some extra. Yeah, so it I had to change the fuel system, and I'm running a regulator, and I decided to opt for their their pressure transducer. That does not, the pressure transducer and the fuel pressure regulator do not come with the kit, nor does the fuel supply system. I just went with, I think I went with an Aeromotive, or Aero, something like that, the Phantom, I believe they call it. I had another fuel injection unit on this before. It looked just like a carburetor. It didn't have, you couldn't see the injectors externally like that. I'm not going to give you the name of the company, but let's just say it didn't work really well. And it's at the company now, and it's been at the company for the last 3 weeks trying to fix it. So here's the other side. Throttle linkage. Everything hooked up perfectly. Fits exactly how a 4150 would fit on a manifold. This might give you a clue as to the last company I had fuel injection with. The holes there are for phasing a rotor, which you do not need to do with the Holley Terminator EFI, because if you see right here, you've got the Ford, on this particular one, it's the Ford TFI module, and this particular harness that hooks right into the harness for the EFI, that's separate also. It was like 50 or 60 bucks, but well worth it. And the handheld, and I've got new caps and actually 2 new caps and new wires to put on, and it'll run better when I have that. But even with only 10 miles under its belt, this thing runs better than it ever has. And I will show you exactly where I mounted the EFI unit, the brains, the ECU here, right under the footwell of the passenger seat. All that I have to do now is put a grommet in the hole, and the one on the right are the old wires for headlights and all the other stuff, and that one wire, those other ones are for the EFI. I just need to get this one, I can't even see it on here. Oh, that one. I just need to get that up and out of place so the driver doesn't, or the passenger doesn't accidentally hit it. But that's where it sits. And here's the handheld controller. Let me go over to the other side. I will show you that it's actually, the engine is stone cold. Well, I shouldn't say that because it's a hot day, but let's see. So the engine's 77. The bodywork is 80. My 3rd gen RX-7 is, where's the blame? Is 78. Outside here, it just rained, so the pavement might be a little cooler. Yeah, it's 92, 95 on the pavement, asphalt, and 89, a few degrees cooler on the concrete. But anyways, there's my twin turbo RX-7. I tuned it myself. It's pretty quick. But anyways, back to the Holley Terminator. If you have a carburetor, get rid of it. Even if it's a professionally worked Holley, the reason I went from carburetor to a fuel injection was because I was not getting the performance I needed at the racetrack. And I don't mean a drag strip. I don't drag race this car, but I do road course it. And what would happen is heavy braking, even with the vent tubes attached, and the vent tubes run far away. Even under hard braking or cornering, this gas would slosh and it'd open up a jet. Even with the jet extenders, it'd open up a jet, and then next thing you know, you're trying to get it back into the throttle and there's nothing there, and it's sputtering. And if you brake hard going into a turn, and you're trying to blip throttle the gear down, it just gargles. Because all the fuel's unmetered fuel's getting into it, getting down the throat somehow. But anyways, here's going to be a startup on a Stone Cold engine. And like I said, it hasn't even self-learned everything yet. This is all the stuff, how you tune it and everything. But here goes. Let's see how well it does. Make sure it's out of gear. And that will ride all day perfectly. I did some hard braking from a speed I'm not going to say down to a dead stop with the clutch in. I wasn't gearing down, and it didn't stall when I stopped. The idle didn't change at all. I was so happy. You can't imagine how happy I am. So anyways, do yourself a favor and buy the Holley Terminator. And what's also nice is that if you decide to in the future, you can, I guess, block off some of those injectors or take them out or whatever. Then you can actually go with a multi-port. I'm not 100% sure on the actual nomenclature. Put one in every runner. But so it's upgradable as where others aren't. So think about that when you're costing one out. Anyways, that's my video. So long. Bye-bye.